Hello, stars. Deju22 here, and up next is a preview show for an upcoming Super Show. That is for my wrestling videos. And for those of you that are new subscribers, I'm just going to explain briefly what is going on. I do a wrestling series in which I take a wrestling game and then just make something out of it. And that's pretty much how this whole series began. When I first started out my channel, and I do this for fun. I'm not trying to make any money or try to get fame, even though that would be nice. But the point is, I really love what I do, and if I didn't enjoy doing this, I wouldn't be doing it. But if you like video game wrestling or have some sort of interest, do stay tuned. If you're not that interested, you can leave if you want. But if you're interested, otherwise. Alright, let's get started. So the next Super Show is called SummerSlam, and how apropos. I mean, we're closing in on the first month of summer. And the first match is a big match to start the show. It is the Mixed Tag Team Tournament Finals, and it will feature these two teams that fought in 3 rounds prior. And both of them, you know, some of them got lucky, other times they just had help from other people, but one way or another, they're here. And here are the contestants. You have, first and foremost, you have the husband and wife team of Matthew Cole and his wife, Colette. Forgive me, I have a lot of other things on my mind, but I'm going to try to stay focused here. But no, you have Matthew Cole and his wife, Colette, and then you have a lovely couple in their own right. They're not married, but it's simply the team of Via Vinyl and her man, Link. Of course, these two teams, they've battled some of the best. In fact, I think, for Cole and Colette, they defeated, if I'm not mistaken, they beat, actually, I kind of forgot who they beat, to be honest with you. I'll have to remember it, but among the teams they did beat the team of Tanuki Teddy and Genitera, and as well as the team of The Rock and Trish Stratus. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Lita and Edge. Excuse me, my fault. But they defeated those two teams along the way to get to this point. And for the team of Via Vinyl and Link, they defeated the teams of The Authority. That would be Triple H and his wife, Stephanie McMahon. As well as the team of Kelly and Rockhawk 64, which I'll get to in a moment. And finally, the team of Trish Stratus and The Rock. So those were 3 teams that they got past twice because of outside interference. Not so much because the outside interference wanted to help them. They wanted to cause the other team to lose. And both times that happened as far as Miss Via Vinyl and Link in their case. But the important thing is that they made it, and they're going to take on each other. And the team that wins not only wins the trophy, not only wins the money, not only wins a date for after the show, a paid date, that will pay for them, whichever team wins. But that team will get a shot at both the men and women's championships of the world, and it depends also which team wins, which we'll get to, and I'll explain more about it when we get to the final match, but the final match, well, that is when we get to the Super Show, that is. So I'll explain more about it. But the team that wins gets to go into the championship match at the very end of the show. So that's one thing to keep in mind. All right, next match is for the 24/7 championship. And it will feature the new 24/7 champion, Rockhawk. That's Rockhawk 64. Or the Rockhawk 64, as he is known on YouTube. And he will take on not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, but 5 opponents all at once. And they are the Great Khali, If you don't know who the Great Khali is, you'll see how great he is. And then you have Shy Guy. That's Shy Guy with the lazy eye on YouTube. Deadpool from the Marvel comics. He's kind of like this badass anti-hero, I guess you could say. Retro Rick, who wanted to be a part of this match because he wanted to get revenge on behalf of his comrade and his pupil, Kofi Kingston. So Retro Rick wanted to be in this match, and he got it. And last but definitely not least, the man from Sábado Gigante, that's the show Sábado Gigante. In English it means Gigantic Saturday on Univision. The man from Sábado Gigante, Mr. Sábado Gigante, Don Francisco. So, and it will be in a battle royal, and it's simple. The last man standing wins. And also, the thing about the 24/7 championship is that it can change hands at any time during the match. So that means that Rockhawk 64 would either have to be pinned or forced to submit by anybody else, and that person becomes the champion. But ultimately, whoever wins the match, well, gets to be the champion, obviously. So that's just something to keep in mind there. Alright, third match, it will be for the Women's Championship of the World, and this would also determine who gets to be in that championship final match at the very end of the show. We have the current reigning and defending Women's Champion of the World, my good friend Ryoko. Officially, her URL on YouTube is Ryoko Hatake, but we just call her Ryoko. So yeah, Ryoko gonna defend that championship against the number one contender going into this match, Lita, and the former Women's Champion of the World, Genetera. So, Lita and Genetera each have a claim to the championship, but the only way we could really settle this was in a triple threat match. And it works like this. There are no disqualifications, no countouts, falls count anywhere, and the last woman standing wins the match and the championship. It's as simple as that. So we'll find out whether Ryoko is going to hold on to the title or whether Lita can soar her way back to the top, or if Genetera will take back what was once hers. We'll find out at that show. Alright, up next is a 3-on-3 match. It is a personal grudge match between two teams, and it features the Industry. And because only one other person was booked already in a match, and that was Shy Guy, 3 of the 4 remaining members, including myself, any 3 of the 4 remaining members could have potentially been in this match, but ultimately, I decided to, let the other 3, showcase their talents. I wanted to put them, I wanted to, I wanted to showcase them. In other words, I wanted to put them ahead of me. So that's what I was trying to say. Excuse me. And then we have the 3 members of the Eliminators. Now, 2 of them already had matches scheduled, so naturally it left the remaining 3 to compete in this match. Well, first let's go with the Eliminators. It will consist of Midnight Radian and NHL, the hockey player, or simply NHL, but that's what I meant by NHL, not the hockey league. I'm talking about the character NHL. And the leader of the Eliminators, Prince, formerly he went under the name of Prince Pompadour, but this time around he decided to just simply go under his actual alias and not a fake one that he went with initially, because he wanted to get his feet wet first before revealing it. But the man known as Prince Mario, that's Prince Mario 64 officially as far as his URL is concerned on YouTube, but it's Prince Mario simply. And for the Industry, it will be Tanuki Teddy, Dr. Truhu, that's Truhu82, and LP Grotus. 3 of my best friends. And I've decided in this case, for this particular match, to make Tanuki Teddy the captain for this match, mainly because of the fact that he does have a little bit of a grudge from a situation that was, I'm not going to go into because it's personal, but it was just between them. But for that match, Tanuki Teddy will be the captain for that match. As Prince Mario would naturally be the captain because he is the leader of the Eliminators, but it'll be a 3-on-3 match, and if you get pinned or forced to submit, you're out of the match, and if an entire team is eliminated, the team that is left standing wins. Very simple. Excuse me. And then up next is going to be for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championships, and it will feature the champions on behalf of a group known as the Trailblazers, the Mario Brothers. So the Mario Brothers are a team within the team, and they will defend those championships against 2 of the 5 members of Doom, which happen to be the Unified Tag Team Champions. And it's very simple. If Doom wins, they become the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, and the Trailblazers would take over as the Unified Tag Team Champions. But if the Trailblazers win, they keep their championships, and Doom loses the Unified Tag Team Championships outright. And then we'll have to crown him. We'll have to crown a new champion on the next show because we will not have enough time to crown him on the Super Show, which is as simple as I can make it. And then we have, for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, the champion Undertaker against Stone Cold Steve Austin and against The Rock in a triple threat match. What can I say? I mean, that match sells itself. Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock for the World Wrestling Federation champion, and The Undertaker is the champion. What more do I need to say about it? Let's move on. Alright, up next, or the second to last match, is for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it will be defended in a scramble match. And I guess I can go over the rules a little bit, but yeah, I'll go over the rules a little bit. So what happens is it's contested among 5 competitors. The 5 competitors draw numbers to see who goes first. The men who drew numbers 1 and 2 will start, and then number 3 enters, 4, and then finally 5. It's as simple as that. But 2 people start. Every 5 minutes, another competitor enters the ring according to the number they drew, and this continues until all 5 men have entered the ring. And what makes this a championship scramble is that the champion does not need to be pinned in order for someone to, quote, take possession of the title. But remember, just because you take possession of the title doesn't mean you're the champion officially. It's when you are in possession of the championship and time runs out, that's how you win the match, and that's how you win the championship. So, in other words, the champion doesn't need to be pinned, although he could. But if you are in possession of the championship, all you simply have to do is prevent anybody else from getting a pinfall or submission on anybody else. So that's pretty much that's something I want you guys to keep in mind when you watch that match. But here are the contestants. The contestants will feature the champion, Jake the Snake. That's Jake the Snake Roberts II, the son of the original. And then the number 1 contender, Moogle Master. That's Moogle Master 102 on YouTube. And the former number 1 contender, John Cena. And then you have Mark Henry. And Mark Henry was the catalyst for why we even have a championship scramble instead of a straight-up one-on-one match. The reason for that was that Mark Henry, he made his appearance after Moogle Master had just become the number 1 contender, and Mark Henry, it looked as if Mark Henry wanted some of Moogle, but then we found out that Mark Henry, we found out that what Mark Henry was really after was a shot at the championship, and at first he challenged Moogle to a match, but Moogle was not stupid enough to put that number 1 contendership status on the line, especially after he had just beaten John Cena for it. So, as if to respond to such a comment, what he then does is, after Mogul Master and Jake the Snake had their match, Mark Henry attacked Jake the Snake, and it was very apparent at that point what Mark Henry was really after. He wants a shot at the championship. Well, because of his antics and because of his actions, he ends up in the championship scramble. And fifth, and finally, or actually in fifth, but last but not least, I should say. The final I gotta slow down. The final competitor is CM Punk, and he was put in this match for one reason. He was put in the match because he forced the Big Show to submit in less than 2 minutes in a submission match, and the championship committee was so impressed about that they put CM Punk in the match. So CM Punk also has a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, so Jake the Snake has only a 20% chance of winning the match, but, well, first and foremost, someone has to pin him or pin one of the other opponents, I don't know, but whatever happens, we'll find out by the end of the championship scramble who will walk away with the championship. And as far as the World Wrestling Federation Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, that could determine who ends up going to the final match. And here's the final match. The final match will feature the team that wins the ultimate winner of the mixed tag team tournament, the one who ultimately wins, the team that ultimately wins. And they will be the challengers to both the women's championship and the men's championship. And in the case of the men's championship, we won't even know which champion will defend that title, as soon as one of those two championship matches is over. But what I'm trying to say is, it'll feature both the men and women's champions against the tournament winners. And it will be, contested in the same format that we've had the mixed tag team tournament, which led to SummerSlam to begin with. And simply put, if the challengers win, they become the champions. If the champions win, they keep the titles. It's as simple as that. So I'm sorry if I had to go on and on and on, but I had to explain this in such a way that those who have been watching will know. But with that said, this is Tiju22 signing off, saying goodbye, and stay tuned for the Super Show. That will be coming up a week later, so from the time that this gets posted, it will be posted a week later, so you have till then to digest it a little bit. But until then, have a good day, everybody.